Well, hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. As we're going through the book of Judges here, we're taking 3 episodes to talk about Abimelech in chapter 9 of Judges. And really, his life was really kind of a disaster. He was a judge. He happened to be the son of Gideon. And so he thinks, oh, I'm a perfect guy to be king here. And kills all his brothers, all 70 of his brothers. And then continues his path of destruction, and he allies himself up with the people of Shechem, and they are on the path of destruction too. Okay, we ended the episode yesterday where Jotham, the youngest brother, had been hiding out, and then he gives this kind of parable and prophecy saying, hey, if you guys want to team up together, and it works out, and it's God's will, then may you just all be blessed. But if not, may you destroy each other, really is what he said. And you're going to see that's what happens today, okay? The thing is, when you're in a situation like this, you don't want to be anywhere near this situation. You want to stay far away from it. And that's why I have this title today. This is not my circus, and these are not my clowns. Okay, I first heard that. I was on a trip, and we were going across the state, and then we were going to ride our bikes back, and we were on a bus, and I was talking to a lady there, and I forget what the conversation was about, but she said that statement. It stuck with me, which is, I guess it's a common statement to say, this is not my circus, and these are not my clowns. The conversation was, she saw something that was going on, not on the bus, but another time in life, and she said, I'm staying far away from that because that's absolute craziness, and I'm not going to get sucked into that, the wacko stuff that's going on there. And so that's what happens, what she said, and it stuck in my brain. And so that's what we want to focus on today, is just the craziness that's happening here, and it continues to get worse, and you just want to separate yourself from that and stay far away from that. Okay, so let's read here today. This is a little bit longer today. We're going to finish the chapter, and this is taken from Judges chapter 9, and I'm going to read verses 22 to 56. Okay, it says, after Abimelech had governed Israel for 3 years, God stirred up animosity between Abimelech and the citizens of Shechem, so that they acted treacherously against Abimelech. Okay, so just like that prophecy said, may you go against each other and destroy each other. God allows this to happen in this situation. God did this in order that the crime against Jerubbaal's 70 sons, the shedding of their blood, might be avenged on their brother Abimelech and on the citizens of Shechem. Okay, both parties were involved with that. The citizens of Shechem for allowing that to happen, and for Abimelech for actually doing that deed, okay, of the murder, really, that happened. The citizens of Shechem had helped him in the murder of his brothers. Verse 25, in opposition to him, these citizens in ambush, and these... let me start over at verse 25. In opposition to him, the citizens of Shechem set men on the hilltops to ambush and rob everyone who passed by, and this was reported to Abimelech. Now Gaal, the son of Eber, moved with his clan into Shechem, and its citizens put their confidence in him. After they had gone out into the fields and gathered the grapes and trodden them, they held a festival in the temple of their God. While they were eating and drinking, they cursed Abimelech, and then Gaal, son of Ebed, said, who is Abimelech, and why should we Shechemites be subject to him? Isn't he Jerubbaal's son, and isn't Zerubbabel his deputy? Serve the family of Hamor, Shechem's father. Why should we serve Abimelech? If only this people were under my command, then I would get rid of him, and I would say to Abimelech, call out your whole army. Okay, so you have another guy kind of rising up here, rebelling against the leadership of Abimelech, and just running his mouth. Okay, that's a lot of times what happens is you start running your mouth, and that's where problems happen. And a lot of times it's after consumption of a lot of alcohol is when that you start saying stupid stuff. Verse 30, when When Zubal, the governor of the city, heard what Gaal, son of Ebed, said, he was very angry. Under the cover, he sent messengers to Abimelech, saying, Gaal, son of Ebed, and his clan have come to Shechem and are stirring up the city against you. Now then, during the night, you and your men should come and lie in wait in the fields. In the morning at sunrise, advance against the city. When Gaal and his men come out against you, seize the opportunity to attack him. So Abimelech and all his troops set out by night and took up concealed positions near Shechem, in the 4 companies. Now Gaal, son of Ebed, had gone out and was standing at the entrance of the city gate, just as Abimelech and his troops came out from their hiding place. When Gaal saw them, he said to Zebul, Look, people are coming down from the tops of the mountains. Zebul replied, You mistaken the shadows of the mountains for men. But Gaal spoke up again, Look, people are coming down from the central hill, and a company is coming from the direction of the diviner's tree. Then Zebul said to him, Where is your big talk now? You who said, who is Abimelech, that we should be subject to him? Aren't these the men you ridiculed? Go out and fight them. Okay, so this guy's stirring the pot. I mean, just, you got these 2 guys that really hate each other, I guess. And then you got this other guy who's egging the whole situation on. Okay? Verse 39, So Gaal led out the citizens of Shechem and fought Abimelech. Abimelech chased him all the way to the entrance of the gate, and many were killed as they fled. Then Abimelech stayed in Arunah, and Zubal drove Gaal and his clan out of Shechem. The next day the people of Shechem went out to the fields, and this was reported to Abimelech. So he took his men, divided them into 3 companies, and set an ambush in the fields. When he saw the people coming out of the city, he rose to attack them. Abimelech and the companies with him rushed forward to a position at the entrance of the city gate. Then 2 companies attacked those in the fields and struck them down. All that day Abimelech pressed his attack against the city until he captured it and killed its people. Then he destroyed the city and scattered salt over it. Okay, Abimelech just destroyed the city that had made him king. Okay, so again, you got these guys out fighting against each other now. Verse 46, On hearing this, the citizens in the tower of Shechem went into the stronghold of the temple of El-Berith. When Abimelech heard that they had assembled there, he and all his men went up to Mount Zalmon. He took an axe and cut off some branches, which he lifted to his shoulders. He ordered the men with him, Quick, do what you have seen me do. So all the men cut branches and followed Abimelech. They piled them against the stronghold and set it on fire with the people still inside. So all the people in the tower of Shechem, about 1,000 men and women, also died. Okay, that's got to be a big tower. Okay, it's not a little water tower thing like we see today, but this had 1,000 people in it that all died. So he basically, the people went up to the tower to hide out and to be safe. Like, oh, Shechem can't get us here. Well, he burnt the tower down, and there's no way of escape when you got that tower. Fire at the bottom. So he's attacking the city. Now he's burning down the tower where the people are taking refuge. What else could happen? Let's keep reading. Verse 50. Next, Abimelech went to Thebez and besieged it and captured it. Inside the city, however, was a strong tower. Okay, we got another tower here. To which all the men and women, all the people of the city had fled. They had locked themselves in and climbed up to the tower roof. So Abimelech I'm sure he's thinking, well, I was just at one tower and defeated it. Let me just do it all again. Verse 52, Abimelech went to the tower and attacked it. But as he approached the entrance to the tower and to set fire on it, a woman dropped an upper millstone on his head and cracked his skull. Okay, a millstone is a huge stone, and it can vary in size, but it's a stone. Okay, and when you drop it from a high place, it's going to cause some damage. And so this woman decided, well, I'm going to give up my millstone to, crush Abimelech here. Okay, and so a millstone was used to grind the grain, and usually it's like a big wheel, you might say, that would have a hole through it and a pole so you can, grind that grain down. And so she threw that stone out and hit Abimelech, okay, and cracked his skull. But the story doesn't end there. Verse 54. Hurriedly he called to his armor bearer, "Draw your sword and kill me, so that they can't say a woman killed him." So he probably looked up and saw the woman waving as the stone went down, onto his head and busted his head. So his servant ran him through, and he died. When the Israelites saw that Abimelech was dead, they all went home. Thus God repaid the wickedness that Abimelech had done to his father by murdering his 70 brothers. God also made the people of Shechem pay for all their wickedness. The curse of Jotham, son of Jerubbaal, came on them. Okay, the story concludes by the cities. I don't know how many people were left alive, but not that many, because he's going on a big killing spree. Abimelech is going on this big killing spree, and as he's going on this big killing spree, just mad, and he was supposedly their king. He was just mad at them for rebelling against him, and so he goes on the killing spree and is just killing everybody willy-nilly, and in the end he gets killed. So in the end, it's like a bloody field, you might say, or battlefield, that it's just everyone's dead all over the place, okay, and there's no real winner because everyone's dead in this whole thing. So that's how that ends, and I'm sure everyone in the surrounding tribes and stuff were looking at this going and saying, wow, that's some circus going on there that I don't want to be any, I want to stay far away from that, because everything they're doing is ungodly, and it continues, and it just gets worse and worse and worse, and you don't want to be kept up in it. It's just like you have an avalanche coming down. You don't want to be caught in that avalanche. You want to stay far away from that avalanche, and so you're not caught in the death that is springing down. And so watch that. It's not that hard to watch that in your lives, but when you see the craziness happening, and it's really ungodliness, it's best to take a step back, separate yourself from it, and let that play out, and then you can re-enter that situation after the craziness has settled down. But you can see here how it just escalated and escalated. Hey, I want to thank you for joining me as we have concluded this section of Judges chapter 9, and I invite you to join me tomorrow as we continue walking through the book of Judges. Lord's blessing. I'll see you tomorrow.